With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin. The Barnstable Police Department conducts routine sting operations in restaurants, bars, package and convenience stores to ensure that license holders in the town of Barnstable are in compliance with the law. A series of sting operations was held in early September, and 2 local convenience stores were found in violation. Today, the licensing authority held show cause hearings for both the Hess Express at 50 Ocean Street in Hyannis and the Mini Mart at 252 Main Street. The licensing authority first dealt with the Hess station. First, the sting scenarios explained, and then representatives from the station had a chance to testify.
We conducted sting operations this summer, and as the handout that I just gave you, you can see that we, through an article at the Barnstable Patriot on March 25th, we advertised the fact that we were going to do stings. On May 4th and 5th, we held info sessions at the police department, and during those information sessions, we also told the attendees that we were going to conduct stings. Along with that, in utilizing the guidelines, we notified that we were going to do stings. We took a photograph of the person involved with the stings. We made sure that they weren't carrying anything. We made sure that the only money that they had, we gave to them. We gave the person involved a breathalyzer test, which she tested as 0-0. Basically what we do is we take an individual under the age of 20. In this particular case, we used someone who was under 20, and I also had somebody there that was 21. We take the individual into the police station. We make sure that they don't have anything on their person, that we take all their money away from them. We go over the guidelines with them. We give them a breath test. And then we ask them to go into different establishments. We have them go in and we ask them if it's a package store to go in and try and purchase a 6-pack. If it's a restaurant, then we ask them to go in and try and purchase an alcoholic beverage. Basically what they do is they go up. In this particular case with this establishment, they go into a cooler. They took a 6-pack. They went up to the counter and purchased the 6-pack. And what we instruct them to do is if they're asked for any form of identification, that they simply leave. So on September 1st, we conducted sting operations, and at 21:25, which is 9:25 at night, myself, along with another officer, went to 50 Ocean Street, Hess, and we sent the underage operative into the gas station. She went into the Hess gas station. She went into the cooler and took a 6-pack of Twisted Tea, which is an alcoholic beverage, brought it up to the counter, and paid for the purchase for $8.71 and left. Along with that, the other officer, Officer Ellis, witnessed the transaction. I witnessed the transaction sitting out in the parking lot. And then the underage operative came in, got back in the car. We discussed what we saw. She identified the person as a dark-skinned male in his late 20s, with dark hair and a birthmark on his left-hand wrist, and that the sale was rung up for $8.71. Thank you.
We verified on camera that we did have an employee. In this case, the employee's name was Mohammed Saeed. He was hired August 25th, and this sting was done September 1st, so he failed within his first 2 shifts. Just to give you a little layout of the training that this employee receives and every employee receives, before you can even go on register, every Hess, you have to take a web-based training course that's titled Sale of Restricted Items, which goes over, our policies and everything of that. In addition to that, on every register, whenever there's a tobacco or alcohol transaction, there's a screen that pops up that either states that you have to enter their birth date, or if you wanted to bypass that, you can press what's called an over 30 button. Either way, the only way you can sell to underage consumers is you have to falsify that screen. In this case, it looks like that probably happened. We also have these ID machines in the Orleans and Hyannis location that we bought a couple of years ago, where each employee is trained, and this is supposed to be able to scan anyone's ID, even out of state, and it will actually tell you their age, in addition to the POS screen we already have that goes on the registers. And in this case, it looks like the employee did not use that as well.
The licensing authority ruled that the Hess Express was indeed guilty of violating the terms of its license and ordered a one-day license suspension. Next, the police described the sting operation at the Mini Mart with rebuttal from the store management's lawyer.
On this particular night, on the September 1st at 10:45 at night, myself along with another officer and the two female underage operatives, one being 20 and the other one being 21, we sent the 20 and 21-year-old into the Mini Mart on Main Street. The 20-year-old went to the cooler and took out a six-pack of Bud Light, brought it to the counter, described the male at the counter as a subject who was 5'8" in his 20s with dark hair. The clerk rang up the sale for $8.50. After the sale had been rung up, the clerk asked the underage operative for her ID. She stated that she didn't have an ID. And then, according to the operatives, the clerk turned to the other female that we had sent in, who was 21, and asked for her ID. She produced a valid Massachusetts driver's license. Then the 20-year-old took the sale and walked out of the store and came back to the vehicle. I witnessed both operatives go into the store, and I witnessed them both come back out. And that's the gist of the transaction.
And then finally, Mr. Jamal also has a special situation at his store that other people don't. A prior owner, Mr. Jamal purchased this store in June of 2010. The prior owner was approached by members of the police department, and Lieutenant Jason, hopefully Officer Mark can testify to this, by the chief of police because of the homeless problem down there. A lot of people either just loitering, whatever the problem was asked specifically by the chief of police to the prior owner not to sell singles and not to sell 40-ounce containers of alcohol because of that's the common product purchased by the vagrants. And in an attempt to eliminate that, the prior owner was asked not to make those sales, which he agreed not to do. Mr. Jamal purchased the store and has continued to honor that policy voluntarily. He loses quite a bit of money from those singles and from those 40 ounces. Not looking for a pat on the back here, but he is looking for a little consideration for the fact that he does cooperate and attempt to address the problems presented by the police department. So you can either determine that or verify it, one or the other. And I think all those things have to be considered here. Mr. Jamal is not just throwing beer out the window here. I think he took the necessary steps. Is that a second-party sale? I think it fits the definition of a second-party sale. Should there be a weak penalty? No. In fact, I don't know if this should be anything but a reprimand in this case, because I think he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. In this case, I think if you truly look at the guidelines, there was a violation on the part of the undercover operative as well.
The suspension be for 1 day.
I'll second it.
1 day suspension.
Anniversary date of the suspension.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carries. That's 1 day suspension to be served September 1st, 2012.
Mr. Chairman, on the prior hearing, someone had asked if they could serve it some other time, and you asked them if they wanted to serve it right now. I don't know if you were being funny or if you because we'll serve it right now.
And you won't appeal?
You want to appeal?
And that means that if you're found guilty here, then that goes to the ABCC and could kick in their 5-day suspension
We
without
understand
rights
that.
of appeal.
That's out of our control. That's out of this board's control, what the ABCC does.
The licensing authority again postponed a show cause hearing for Potterbelly's nightclub at the request of the licensee. That hearing has been postponed to October 24th. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.